So Presente.org has put out a press release that says, we demand Hillary Clinton return and reject any and all donations and financial support from the private prison industry. Clinton can't claim to be working to end mass incarceration while accepting donations from the very people who are bankrolled by it. And then they go on at some length. If Clinton wants our votes, she must return and stop accepting dirty money from private prisons. Presente has 250,000 members. It's the major national organization dedicated to amplifying the political voices of Latino communities in the United States. So this is sort of like Black Lives Matter, hey, Hillary, what are you going to do? But I'd say it goes way beyond Hillary Clinton. And it also speaks to the issue of our prison system. Now, there are people talking about prison reform and sentencing reform and all that. Listen to this. This is Nicholas Turner and Jeremy Travis. This was back a week ago. It was published in the New York Times. The headline is What We Learned from German Prisons by Nicholas Turner and Jeremy Travis. And it was published on the op-ed page. And I just want to share a couple paragraphs from this with you. It starts out, earlier this summer, we led a delegation of people concerned about the United States criminal justice system to visit some prisons in Germany and observe their conditions. What we saw was astonishing. The men serving time wore their own clothes, not prison uniforms. When entering their cells, they slipped out of their sneakers and into slippers. They lived one person per cell. Each cell was bright with natural light, decorated with personalized items such as wall hangings, plants, family photos, and colorful linens brought from home. Each cell also had its own bathroom, separate from the sleeping area, and a phone to call home with. The men had access to communal kitchens with the utensils a regular kitchen would have, where they could cook fresh food purchased with wages earned in vocational programs. They go on to point out, while the United States currently incarcerates 2.2 million people, Germany, whose population is 1/4 the size of ours, locks up only 63,500 people, which translates to an incarceration rate that is 1/10 of ours. More than 80% of those convicted of crimes in Germany receive sentences of day fines based on both the offense and the offender's ability to pay. They base fines on their ability to pay. Only 5% end up in prison. Of those who do, about 70% have sentences of less than 2 years, with very few serving more than 15 years. The incarcerated people that we saw had considerable freedom of movement around their facilities and were expected to exercise judgment about how they used their time. The process of training and hiring, he notes solitary confinement is rare in Germany and generally limited to no more than a few days, with 4 weeks being the outer extreme. We've got people who've been in solitary confinement for 15 years. They write, the process of training and hiring correction officers is more demanding in Germany, whereas the American corrections leader in our delegation described labor shortages and training regimes of just a few months. In the German state of Mecklenburg, Western Pomerania, less than 10% of those who applied to become correction officers between 2011 and 2015 were accepted into the 2-year training program. This seems to produce results. In one prison we visited, there were no recorded assaults between inmates or assaults on staff members by inmates in the entirety of 2013 or 2014. No assaults. That's amazing. I mean, this is, just genuinely, astonishingly amazing. And then the editorial board did a follow-up piece called Lessons from European Prisons.